So here is our set map showing us areas we are going to cover. Zimbabwe is subdivided into 3 main sections. We have the hill complex, that was the residence for the kings, the spiritual leaders, as well as kings. We have the valley complex, which is dominated by the great enclosure. According to Portuguese records, the last ruler of this empire, Nyatsimba Mutota, had more than 200 wives. So the valley was the residence for the junior wives. Whereas the great enclosure, the most preserved structure in Zimbabwe, second largest single pre-historical structure in Africa after the Egyptian pyramids, was the residence for the king. So the summit we have 2 ways, ancient and modern paths. We're going to use the ancient path on our way up. Then we will descend using the modern path. That's a bit gradual and easier to do. Then in the valley, there's a model of a Shona village. The village tenants will be trying to give an insight, showing how the Shona people live their goddess Punda days. The Jew pottery making, traditional dances, as well as soapstone sculpture. From there we pass through the valley. So there is much to admire in the valley. All the structures have deteriorated over the years due to uncontrolled vegetation into the great enclosure. In the great enclosure, we will end our tour in the setting here. That's where we are going to witness artifacts which were achieved in and around Great Zimbabwe during times of archaeological excavation. Most importantly, the famous soapstone carvings in the Zimbabwe which were used as symbols of religion. Then Z for Zimbabwe is a prefix for a big object. Okay. That was big, we say Z always. Like a mountain in Shona we say Go. A big mountain is Z. Then Mba being a root word for a house where a single amount is stored. Okay, so it comes of story. In 1986, Great Zimbabwe was proclaimed a World Heritage Site by UNESCO. So if you look at these ancient structures all around the world, Great Zimbabwe is rated number 4. Because of the structures which were built by human beings, as well which were built with stick granite stones. We have Great Wall of China, Egyptian pyramids, Machu Picchu, Peru, South America, and then Great Zimbabwe. All these structures show a high level of civilization in time. Far as family matters were concerned, the queen was considered to be the chief advisor. Even if we could try to go back to our tradition, when a man wanted to marry the second wife, polygamy was the order of the day. Being a polygamist, it was symbolizing power in the world. So if you wanted to marry the second wife, you were supposed to pay tribute to the first wife in the form of a car. Like she would give you authority.
I don't have to respect the king. I'm short. I just walked right through. It means that Shonas were taller in the time of Great Zimbabwe.
So this place is where the kings used to live. We have a soapstone carving. One in the royal residence, 6 in here. Now, if you look at those carvings, the use of the symbols of religion. But some may say only those in here and quite a number of them in here. After each and every succession, a bed which was carved for the outgoing king was removed from the royal residence and kept here. If we see that these carvings they are found on Mount Elizabeth platform, they were facing east. Culturally or traditionally, the element of facing east was there to depict the light and the image of God. Never outside the light. Then you can see in churches, people worship facing east. They build altars on the eastern side of the church. Most people believe in ancestral things, but the value and the power of God in the body. So the real beds we consider that they actually are evil. Those are acting as divine beings. A belief being right is very difficult for a really ordinary person to speak about it. The way the shape of the Islam is very international. This is the cliff of enclosure from the word cliff from geography. Combination of solid walls and the man-made wall. So this part is the Watergate part. We had two paths, original paths to access the summit. Ancient, the one used on our way up in the Watergate, which was that the people would carry water from the base of the cliff from the side. According to Dr. Edward Matenga, he says that the king's sister was supposed to live near his brother. Politically, she was the most trusted person, so she was going to be the chief advisor. To make that, to make it that being successful, they were supposed to do real insect, especially when the king was sworn. They would take a crocodile from the river, which they assume is now over. They tie it up. Then the king was supposed to sleep with his blood on top of the live crocodile. Then after performing that act, they could kill the crocodile. A belief for long life, the king was supposed to swallow one of the small pebbles of stones found in the crocodile's gizzard, assimilating as still. You can see in our traditions, you can say, this woman is now old, she might have swallowed the small pebble of stone. See, that's how. That culture originated from Maputo in South Africa. It was called leopard poppy culture of the Great Zimbabwe came to the Zimbabwe. It was the same culture you are said with people. Also in here over there we have a monolith on the ground. About 2-3 weeks ago, it's an opening of a church where things were buried. The time it fell down, so it's under construction as well. So in 1871, that guy Karl Mach, a German geologist, he had his friends from the Transvaal.
Aka ndiko kambo katiri batiri vapwere pandakakuridai kune gomo muno vanobva kungane michero yakasiyana siyana matamba chechete mado netsoritsoto toendewo kumhuka kune mbira zokoma kudone ngururu saka tiri vapwere taifarira kupfudzira mombe mugomo ramasare asi kati atine kambo kataizoimba kudaro tichipfudzira mombe mugomo muye muchero wataifarira zvikuru dzaiva tsoritsoto chikonzero chinoti unotapira ukangoti boi mwechete mukanwa waizobvapo saka tiri vapwere taifarira kupfudzira mombe mugomo ramasare asi kakambo kedu tatisingarege kuimba sevana vanga vari vapwere zvaidotinakidza chaizvo yete wona matamba igwe kana nhengeni wona tsoritsoto wona tsokoidzi kana timbira wona makudo wona makudo
That Kongo Tower initially it was 60 meters high. But during excavations, some were looking for treasures. They thought there's a hole between, and they destroyed the upper part, not about 95 meters. There are rubbles of stones inside. The tower can be a symbol for unity, as we see the use of it by ZANU-PF in 1987 after the Unity Accord. So it might act as an intermediary between two conflicting giants that are here in unity in every society. The top of the tower being like a canary symbolizing some might say